Hey guys, my name is Carla Grace. I am a full-time wildlife artist and I'm going to give you access to a really great section of my tutorial that teaches how to paint the hard, scratchy surface of a blue macaw's beak. In this sneak peek, I will show you the section that focuses on the finishing touches and how I bring brilliant color into the otherwise dull beak. I'll guide you through a practical step-by-step format discussing brushwork and simple colors that can transform the tones into something truly spectacular. The full tutorial is applicable for both oil and acrylic paint. In the full tutorial, I cover my layering process from start to finish, focusing on the weird way of working the paint in order to create the hard and brittle texture of the beak. I also show you every color mix and thought behind everything I do. Now I'll show you the full section from the tutorial, and I will see you at the end. Welcome to the finishing touches. My favorite section of the painting is when I can come in and add colors that make this painting come alive. The first one that I'm going to start with is ultramarine blue. So this brings a purple element into the blues that are in this painting. I'm going to opt for a more mid-range value of the ultramarine blue, and I'm going to place it into the shadows very, very subtly. And this is just going to blend without being too fussy. I'm not bringing a lot of attention to it. It's very subtle, and ultimately it's just going to have that intensity to the chroma that we otherwise don't have in this painting. Adding this extra burst of color is going to take the painting to the whole new level. And you can do it in a really subtle way with any painting. You can assess what colors really bring it to life and then just take it a little bit further. So ultramarine, I saw that on this side, it really complemented the painting and added vibrancy. And so I'm like, oh, I might take that and play around with it just a little bit more. And so I'm going to play around with it, and I'm going to make it a little stronger than what it would usually be. I'm going to play with it in the shadows rather than in the areas that have the light. That is going to be where another color might come in. She says, adding it to the areas with the light just to see how it looked. And that is going to sort of lift these areas and bring a little bit more vibrancy. So I'm going to bring this blue, and it's going to sort of create a glow in the shadows. So we're capturing a lot more light. So that straight away has heaps more color in it. Just going to see where I can add it down here at the tip. Not a lot down at the tip because it's got that warmer tone to it. But I do want a little bit in the shadow there without going too crazy. Oh, that's just so much more color already, straight away. Just going to soften this area with a little bit of it. So there's the French ultramarine that already has brought this to life so far. Now I'm going to bring in a very subtle use of a more golden tone, especially in the tip of the nose here. I don't want to go crazy with this color. We're talking very subtle vibrance. So I'm going to use a little bit of the cad yellow and the raw sienna, and I'm going to use it on the front here like it's catching the reflection. And this is going to be key, like I'm talking key, and really making this beak look alive and vibrant. So you can use more raw sienna if you want to, whatever makes it work for you. And I'm going to use this in the areas where there is a dip in the beak. So it's kind of in the groove running along up to the top, and I'm just subtly adding that, and it's just picking up the light, especially in the tip. This final touch of color is probably the most important part of this whole process, aside from the preparation, which, believe me, is the most important part of the process. This is the key way to finish off a beak or claw that has just an overall vibrancy to it. We're not going to get that if we relied on our overall application of paint. This is coming in at the end. This is like a final kiss of color. So I'm just adding this burst of the raw sienna just throughout all these little details along the edges. And this is just going to take it to the next level, and it's going to look gorgeous. Now, I'm not going to finish off these sections of the yellow, mostly because that's more along the lines of painting skin, which is something that I've covered in the chimpanzee tutorial. I would apply those same principles to painting the flesh around the beak. So I'm just focusing on the beak so we can really tackle that in a lot more detail. And then I'm going to add a little bit more through the middle here. And then I reckon with one little touch of color, I'm going to call it finished. That is one very pretty beak. How cool was that? All right, so that is the beak section of this tutorial done. And I'm going to leave it there and meet you in a new tutorial, which will kind of be like a part 2, kind of like the same. And that is where I'm going to paint the claw. And I'm going to do it in its entirety so that you can really see how I focus on the textures of the skin for the claw, because it's almost like a scale effect rather than a skin effect, which is what we did in the chimpanzee tutorial. So for now, thank you so much for being here in this wonderful tutorial where we covered a very textured and very intricate detail painting of the beak, and I will see you in the next one where we focus on how to paint the claw. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon. For the full tutorial, please follow the link in the description. Remember to subscribe to see more tips and art from me, and I will see you next time.